Hello, this is Chun Bernard. I remember when I was in primary school where we would go on an excursion trip each year. One particular year, we took a bus trip to the museum, National Library, and Haw Par Villa. These trips were meant to be good learning experience, educational. Haw Par Villa was a place where hell was displayed. Some parts of its exhibits showed statues of wicked people in chains, tortured by devilish forms with forks, knives, and spears. They were bleeding and in pain, but not able to get relief. The visit to the museum left a mark with us kids, who were terrified by the message that when you are wicked, you may end up in hell. That hell is a place where sufferings never cease. This is an unimaginable concept. How can a soul be able to withstand permanent sufferings? Compare this to the suffering in physical sickness like a bad influenza, which can be difficult to bear, but the pain typically goes away after a few days. During school-age years, I would learn from my elders and church ministers that when you are good, you go to heaven, and when you are bad, you end up in hell. It is obvious that everyone would want to end up in heaven. The school that I went to was a Catholic school, and every year there would be mission from the Redemptorist priests. Also, there would be mission at the next door Catholic church. During these missions, the priests never failed to preach about heaven and hell. These were in the early 70s. I believe the message was loud and clear. Don't do bad things, as there will be consequences of hell. Well, it seems that these days not many talk about hell anymore, not even in the churches. They do not preach about the dangers of hell like they used to. I miss those days when the priests would make a great impact with their fire and brimstone sermons. What has happened to our culture? When I was growing up, it was not unheard of to smack the child or to use a small rattan rod to whip the child on the rear to foster discipline. Of course, this must be done within reasonable limits. However, this is gone. You have heard the saying, spare the rod and spoil the child. When God gave the 10 Commandments, it was to guide mankind to turn to Him and follow His guidance. Look at the world around you. God and the 10 Commandments are no longer held with importance. The result, as you can see, we have an upside-down world, chaotic. It is also not helpful when theologians have reduced hell to a state and not addressing it as a place. They say that hell is a state, but a person is totally disconnected from God. There is also an implied message that whatever wicked deeds you may have done, so long as you do not reject God, you will not end up in hell because of God's mercy. This sounds like mockery. Look in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 13. Jesus says that at the end time, He will send His angels to collect the evildoers and throw them into the fiery furnace, where there will be wailing and grinding of teeth. The message is very clear. Jesus did not say that hell is a state. It is a physical place. The end of life is not to be taken lightly. When you are done here on earth, you are answerable for all your deeds, good or bad. Do you think that God is love and mercy, and He will not throw you into hell for your wicked deeds? Think again. How is it that the angels who went against God are thrown out of heaven? They are now devils roaming on earth, causing chaos when they are not back in hell.